What if the most famous athlete in America was suddenly accused of murder, and the entire world watched it unfold live? In 1994, the case of O.J. Simpson didn't just become a trial, it became a global spectacle. It blurred the lines between celebrity, race, media, and justice. And decades later, people are still divided over what really happened. This is the story of the trial that shocked the world. Orenthal James Simpson, known to millions simply as O.J., was more than a football star. He was a Heisman Trophy winner, an NFL legend, a sports commentator, and even a Hollywood actor. By the early 1990s, he had built a public image of charm, success, and likability. Then, on the night of June 12, 1994, everything changed. Nicole Brown Simpson, O.J.'s ex-wife, and her friend Ron Goldman were found dead outside Nicole's home in Los Angeles. The news stunned the country. Suspicion quickly turned toward O.J., especially given his history of domestic disputes with Nicole. Within days, he was formally charged with 2 counts of murder. But what happened next turned an already shocking case into one of the most surreal moments in American history. On June 17, 1994, O.J. Simpson failed to turn himself into police. Instead, he became the subject of a low-speed police chase in a white Ford Bronco driven by his friend Al Cowlings. Helicopters followed from above. News stations cut into live programming. An estimated 95 million people watched the chase unfold in real time. It wasn't just a man fleeing police. It was a celebrity spectacle. Simpson eventually surrendered. The trial that followed would become one of the most publicized and controversial trials in modern history. The prosecution assembled what the media called a dream team of lawyers on Simpson's side, including Johnny Cochran, Robert Shapiro, F. Lee Bailey, and Robert Kardashian. Their strategy would redefine courtroom defense tactics. The prosecution's case focused heavily on physical evidence. DNA found at the scene. Blood samples, a glove recovered near Simpson's property. But the defense didn't just attack the evidence. They attacked the system. One of the central themes of the defense was misconduct by the Los Angeles Police Department, particularly allegations of racism involving Detective Mark Foreman. The trial unfolded during a time of deep racial tension in Los Angeles, just years after the Rodney King incident and subsequent riots. The courtroom became a stage for much larger conversations about race, policing, and trust in institutions. Then came one of the most unforgettable moments in legal history. The glove. Prosecutors asked Simpson to try on a pair of gloves found at the crime scene. Wearing latex gloves underneath, O.J. struggled to pull them over his hands. That's when defense attorney Johnny Cochran delivered the line that would echo through history. "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." That moment shifted the tone of the trial dramatically. For months, the world watched every detail. News coverage was constant. Court TV broadcasts turned legal arguments into national entertainment. People debated the case at work, at home, everywhere. It wasn't just a trial, it was a cultural event. On October 3, 1995, after less than 4 hours of deliberation, the jury returned its verdict: not guilty. The reaction was immediate and polarized. Some celebrated the verdict as justice served. Others were outraged, believing the evidence had been overwhelming. The case exposed deep divisions in American society, divisions around race, celebrity privilege, media influence, and the criminal justice system. But the story didn't end there. In 1997, the families of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman filed a civil lawsuit against O.J. Simpson. Unlike the criminal trial, the burden of proof was lower. This time, the jury found him liable for wrongful death and awarded $33.5 million in damages. 2 different courts, 2 different outcomes. The O.J. Simpson case became a turning point in how trials were covered by media. It marked the beginning of 24-hour courtroom coverage, celebrity-driven news cycles, and the blending of entertainment with real-life tragedy. It also raised enduring questions. Can celebrity influence justice? How does race shape perception of guilt or innocence? Did the media impact the outcome? For some, O.J. Simpson remains a symbol of a flawed justice system. For others, he represents reasonable doubt in action. Regardless of where people stand, one thing is undeniable. The O.J. Simpson trial changed America. It transformed how we consume crime stories. It exposed fault lines in society. And it proved that sometimes the courtroom can become the center of the world. Decades later, it remains one of the most discussed trials in modern history. And the debate still hasn't ended. If you found this breakdown compelling, subscribe for more deep dives into the cases that shaped history, because sometimes the biggest mysteries aren't just about what happened, they're about what we believe happened.